Okay, welcome to the video on how to create a linear search algorithm, and it is as exciting as it sounds. Right, so I've started by creating a new project in NetBeans, and today I'm going to be writing my code in the static void main area, so I've given myself a little bit of room. So the point of a linear search is to go through an array and return whether or not it finds an item and at what position it found it, or to say that the item wasn't there in the first place. So the first thing we need to do is declare an array. So I'm going to declare an int array, and so int and then square brackets for array, and I'm going to call this my search array. And a quick way to declare an array with values is to use curly brackets and say, rather than having to say int array search array equals new array and then have to declare all the ones individually, what I can do is I can just do curly brackets and then let's just do 13, 14, like so. Fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, just count. There we go. So I've got 10 elements in my array, remembering that this will be search array 0, search array 1, and so on if I want to access them.
This window. This window moves. It's a new door.
So the way that the function is going to work is that we're going to loop through this array element by element and compare it to what we want to find. So for ease of use, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare up here an int I want to find. So I'm going to say item wanted, and I'm going to start by just hard coding these values in. So I'm going to say item wanted, and I'm going to start by looking for a value within the array. So I'm going to start with 21, and I then need to have a couple of variables just as checks so that I can keep track of where the item was in the array and whether or not it's been found. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do have a variable called int item position, and that's going to start off at 0. And I'm also going to have int actually no, this one's going to be a boolean item found, and at the moment I haven't found it, so it equals false. So I'm going to start my while loop, and I want to loop through the array until I get to the end of the array, or I haven't found the item. So I'm going to say while item position is less than search array dot length, and there's a couple of ways I can do this. I can say item found is equal to false. So I can say it that way, and that will work. So at the moment it's going to keep on looping while the item position is less than the length of the array. So while basically this number is less than 10 at the moment, and item is equal to false. Another way I can write that is I can say not item found. Because item found is a boolean, I can perform boolean operations on it. So I can actually say, well, not item found. So, well, false. So I'm going to do a while loop, and in this I'm going to have an if statement to compare the elements. So I'm going to say if search array, and now I need to put the position, so item position is equal to item wanted. And I'm going to say that item found equals true. Otherwise, if I haven't found it, then I'm going to make item position increment. And that way it will keep on looping through the items. What I need to do afterwards is I need to print out whether or not I found it. So I'm going to have if item found, and again, because it's a boolean, I don't need to compare it to true. I can just say if item found. I'm going to system.out.print the item was found at position, and I'm going to put the position of it, item position. If it wasn't found, so else system.out.print item not found. So let's run my code. Does it work first time? Ah, look at that. The item was found at position 9. So remember, because it starts at 0, we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is at position 9. Let's change it so that it can't find it. Let's put something outside of its item not found. Brilliant. Let's turn those into LNs. So your task is to have a go at creating this. If you want a bit of a challenge, you can, instead of declaring an int array, you can declare a string array. And that's done in very much the same ways, but instead you say string here, and you pass it strings. And remember, you can't just compare strings using the double equals. You need to use the dot equals method that a string uses, but do some research on that. And once you've done this as well, you then use the AQA console to take a user input, so that rather than the number being hard-coded for the item wanted, it comes from some user input. If you're unsure how to do the AQA console, watch one of the videos from last lecture on how to implement it. Okay, have fun coding.